Hoy vamos a estar reaccionando sobre este video de Commander's Quarters, de cómo perder amigos por solamente 10 pesos. No sé, eso es lo que él dice. Vamos a ver, vamos a reaccionar sobre esto.
Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander's Quarters studio. I just messed up again.
Mitch tuvo una vez un revolú. Yo me acuerdo del bochinche de Mitch cuando quería hacer un formato nuevo de EDH porque él no quería las cartas de Secret Layer de los Walking Dead. Y él dijo que iba a hacer un formato nuevo de Commander. Y era lo mismo, pero no recuerdo cómo se llamaba el nombre. Pero era sin las cartas de Secret Layer, porque no iban a sacar las cartas de nuevo. Iban a hacer unas cartas exclusivas. Entonces, pues, para ese entonces, él quería hacer otro formato.
I keep doing that. I get too excited as I'm going to the episode, and then my opening line of "Welcome to the Commander's Quarters studio." It's not the Commander's Quarters studio, and I hope by making that mistake, I did not lose you as a friend. And you might be using this deck though that I'm gonna show in this episode. Good transition there, right? To lose your own friends with all.
Yo no quiero perder mis amistades. Amistades a Juan, a Omar, a Ricardo, a Emanuel, Frankie, Nasty. Pero a todas las personas que conozco, a José, a David, diantre, cualquiera de estas amistades mías que jugaron conmigo, el Rubito, Conan, Carlos, todas esas amistades mías, los quiero mucho. Gracias por siempre apoyarme en mi canal. Ahora vengo de nuevo el 2024 con nuevo contenido. Todos los amigos míos los quiero. Gracias por apoyarme, gracias por el apoyo. Todos los suscriptores también los quiero. Yo no quiero perder amigos por $10, lo siento.
That said, let's talk about how you can lose your friends for just $10. Well, more precisely, $9.54 according to Moxfield. But yeah, lose your friends. And the commander that is going to help us all lose our friends is Malik. Is it Parrot?
Ok, tiene azul. Tiene azul. Y rojo. Vamos a ver.
Gone now. Just this commander by itself will not help you lose your friends. Now, this is one of those commanders where it's like, yeah, it's not a commander where your friends are going to be like, oh no, I'll never play against that one because that's a scary commander that does this or that or this. And oh no, it usually is built in this really oppressive way. Typically not. Typically it's like, yeah, okay, instant sorceries, some fun times. But we're going to get to the maybe not so fun times. Well, fun times for you, not fun times for your friends. After we read this card, a 2/4 weird wizard, very weird, for 4 blue and a red. Play the top card of your library revealed. You may cast instant sorcery spells from the top of your library. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell from your library, copy it. You may choose targets for the copy. Here's the thing. So this commander allows us to basically utilize the top of our library as a second hand when it comes to instant sorceries, and the vast majority of cards in this deck that are not lands are instants and sorceries. So basically, we've got a lot of ways to run down that list, and maybe some ways to manipulate the top of our library to give us even more chances to utilize fantastic instants and sorceries. And when we do cast those cards off the top of our library, well, we get to copy it, and that means that we get extra value out of that card. And when it comes to extra value, yeah, it's going to be extra oppressive value because we are going to be casting a lot of spells that break a commander taboo, because that's one of the ways that you can lose friends in Commander is by breaking those unspoken, unwritten rules. And one of those rules is, hey bro, don't touch my lands. That's what someone might say to you if they still use the word bro. And like, hey.
Ok. Parece que va a ser un deck de destruir lanes. Me gusta. Ok, me gusta. Yo no he visto todavía el video. Asumo que va a tener Runeation. Está bueno. Me gusta este gameplay. Vamos a ver.
Don't touch my lands. What are you doing? No, this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be destroying lands. This is not mass land destruction because, well, we aren't utilizing cards, I guess one maybe, that like destroy all the lands out there. But we're going to be utilizing budget cards to destroy individual lands, or maybe up to 2 sometimes too. But with those spells, when we copy them off the top of our library, we get double the value, and we get to destroy twice as many lands.
Eso, ok. Está interesante el video, no lo he visto, obviamente. Pero, exacto, en romper lanes para 4 personas está difícil. Aunque puede targetear a una persona, al que esté más adelante, pero está interesante el video.
Kind
Y
of
por
really
$10.
makes this a bit more of a salt-inducing effect, and one that could potentially lose your friends, is that this is targeted. Again, this is targeted. You are going to be casting
Targeting.
individual, like Stone Rain type spells that are like, hey, those lands. Your lands,
imagino que
not just like an Armageddon that wipes
Cradle
out everyone's lands. No, our
se hace.
lands are untouched, of course. Also, those 2 other players over there, not targeting them yet. No. I'm dealing with your lands first.
Okay.
So I'm going to lose you first as a friend. So with all that
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
let's jump into the deck and teach you how you can lose your friends for, again, $9.54, according to Moxfield, not including shipping, not
Okay,
including base lands, but you might already
$9.54,
have
no
those.
$10. Es
Deck
menos.
list link is in the description below. Be wary of this deck, though. Let's jump into it. Let's start things off with attack number 1,
Molten
aptly
Rain.
named Cheap Destruction, because, well, Molten Rain is very cheap. Just 3 mana in total. It's also only 17 cents, very cheap. Yeah, a lot of these land destruction spells are very, very, very budget-friendly because people don't use them, because people typically don't want to lose their friends, but you do
Exacto.
apparently.
It's-
A source
it's
for 3 mana,
frowned
source target
upon.
land. If that land was non-basic,
Como
2 damage that
masturbarse
lands
en un
controller. So it's
avión.
already like, hey, pain and punishment to you. Lose out on a land, lose out on some health too. And again, if it's off the top of your library, that's 2 for the price of 1. Next up, Pillage. Destroy target artifact or land. It can't be regenerated. Not too many effects are going to regenerate lands, but sure. Anyways,
Yeah.
destroying. Moving on,
¿Verdad?
Stone Rain, 3 mana.
Ok, estamos para hablar de Storm Rain. Pero la anterior, yo no he visto. Es bien pocas las cartas que regeneran permanente o lanes. Casi no las he visto.
Again, destroy target land. Yes, so effective, so efficient. Then we've got Seismic Spike. This one is 4 mana. That being said, it kind of can be free. Source for 4 mana, destroy target
Okay.
land, add red to your mana
Seismic
pool.
Spike.
So again, if you're casting this off the top of your library, it's like, oh, okay, cool. Destroy 2 lands. I get 4 mana. I get
yeah,
my mana
gratis.
back.
Verdad,
So
verdad.
what's
Mala
not to
mía.
love about that? Well,
Sí.
at least for you, not for your
Ah, bueno.
friends that you were losing.
Ah, bueno.
Next up, tactic number 2, multiply. Let's destroy multiple lands. Dwarven Landslide. We can kick it in 2 in a red. And hey, we sacrifice land. Look, we're punishing ourselves. Sorry about that. Destroy target land. If you pay the kick cost, destroy another target land. So again,
Sí.
off the top of our library,
Yeah,
kicker
sure,
costs
sure.
are going to be copied. So hey, destroy 4 lands by doing so. That is massive. Usually that's enough
Wow.
to just decimate an opponent back into the Stone Age, but hey, we've got more ways.
Pero
Burst Rift,
vas a
destroy
tener-
target land,
ah,
you
no,
can
porque
also
es el
flash it
costo,
back
¿verdad?
and do
Exacto,
it
tú
again.
sacrificas
Then
un
there's
land,
Flowstone Flood.
lo pagas
This
una
one
vez,
can be
pero
quite
entonces
brutal.
sí,
Source for 4 mana. Buy back, pay 3 life, discard a card at random. So, hey, we can get this
Pay
back,
3
and then
life?
also destroy target land. So we can just keep doing this again
Okay.
and again and again. What's not to love about that?
Claro, esa
Well,
es
at least
buena.
for us, not for our opponents. Next up,
Flowstone
Ice
Flood,
Wall,
lo
4 mana, destroy
copia,
target
sigue
artifact
haciéndolo,
land. We can also
sí.
recover it
Por 3
for
vidas
just
seguro,
red.
total
red.
con lanes.
So when a creature dies, we can do that and say, hey, it's back, and their opponent's going to be like, oh, no. And we're going to be like, yes, yes. Moving on, Rain of Salt, aptly named. Destroy 2 target lands. Again, off the top of the library, this is destroy 4 for 6 mana. Absolutely absurd. And your opponents are going to be very, very upset. Next up,
Diablo.
Volcanic Awakening. Destroy only 1 land. Oh, for
Y
6
target.
mana, that's not
So
that.
puedes
Oh, wait,
coger los
there's
lanes,
Storm
I
on
think.
this one.
Sí.
So again, we are going
Ya
to
lo con
Storm off. We are
Storm.
going to copy this and just think about this off the top of the library after maybe cast a spell or 2. Your opponents aren't going to have very
Este
many
tipo
lands
sabe.
left at
Este-
all.
este de aquí me
Moving
gusta.
on, Wake of Destruction.
Pache, por
This
10
one is one
pesos.
I kind of alluded to it
Yo lo voy a
earlier, where it's
montar.
like one that technically
Digo,
can
no,
get rid
no,
of
no,
like
no,
every
no.
land out
No,
there
no,
for your
espérate,
opponents
espérate.
if they're all just
No,
playing
yo
like
nunca haría
mono green
un deck de
together for some
Tree
reason.
Ajá.
Cool. And they're all just playing basics,
hagan
which
eso.
basics are amazing. Play more basics. Sorcery for 6 mana, destroy target lands, and all land with the same name as that land. So I guess in this instance, basics are not amazing because
wow,
yeah, if you're
ya,
playing
yo
against
me
all
acordaba de
forests,
ese
they're all gone. All islands,
Wake
all
of
plains,
Destruction,
whatever it
yo me
is.
acordaba de
Keep
de
in mind,
esta-
obviously, this could affect your lands
de-
as well
de
through
esta
islands or
carta.
mountains, but still
Destroy
fun.
target
for
land
you.
and all lands
Next
with
up,
the same
Lava Ball
name as-
Trap. 8 mana in total, but if an opponent to
Tened
lands
cuidado, no vayan a subir un mountain, porque te van a joder ustedes.
instead, destroy 2 target lands, 4 damage to each creature. So this one is one that can get quite weird, where it's like, hey, yeah, wipe out your lands, also wipe out all the creatures on the board. Yay! Have fun with that. Moving on, tactic number 3, 4 on the floor. We've got some land destruction spells because over the years, Wizards was like, okay, maybe 3 mana was not a good amount for land destruction. Maybe 4 is where we should go. Typically, we get a little more kind of flexibility in what these spells can do, though, too. So let's talk about Aftershock. Destroy an artifact, creature, or land. 3 damage to us. Yeah, that's worth it. We'll
crees?
take the 3 damage. Oh, darn. You know what?
Aftershock,
I'm
coger
hurting too,
6.
not just you and your loss of land or whatever else. Craterize, destroy target land, sorcery for 4 mana. Demolish, destroy target artifact or land, sorcery speed. Fire up or think. Destroy target artifact or land. Creatures up flying can't block this turn. So, did I mention that? Yeah, we do have some creatures in this deck, but the goal of this deck, again, is to just make this such a slow and plodding game that, sure, you can make so your opponent's creatures without flying can't block, but we might not even attack because we're just going to get rid of all your lands and make this game last forever so we can lose
Esto
our
es para
friends.
jugar
That's
un
the
domingo,
point of a
papi,
deck.
día de padre.
Moving on. Lay waste.
Desde las 9 de la mañana empezaba a jugar este deck y terminas como a las 7 de la tarde. Sin amistad, con el barbecue ya apagado,
Speaking of pain,
sin nada.
destroy target land, then rolling terrain deals damage to that land's controller equal to the number of land cards in the player's graveyard. Yeah, unfortunately, we might have to finish out the game. And when we do, we're going to do it with something like this. We're like, oh,
Pues
remember
un
those lands
finisher.
I destroyed that are yours? Well, I'm casting this off the top of my library. I'm destroying your last 2 lands, and you're taking like 20 damage, so sorry about ya. Moving on, we've got Rubble Reading, destroy target land, scry 2, so some nice
Rubble
extra
reading.
card selection for you
Rubble
there as
reading.
well. Keep in mind again that it can be huge
Sí,
in
seguro.
keeping something or putting something on top so we can cast it with our commander. Next up, Seismic Ship. Destroy target land up. 2 target creatures can't block this turn. Smashing Success. Artifact or land.
Smashing
destroy,
Success.
Destroy an artifact. You get a treasure. So sure, if you need some extra mana, destroy some treasures. But more likely, destroy the lands. You know what's actually the best is if you're destroying an artifact land, then you're like, I did
metiendo todas las cartas,
I get
exacto,
the
porque esto
treasure
es
and I destroyed
bulk.
your land. Lovely. Then there's Sunder from Within. Destroy artifact or land. Tectonic Bridge. Destroy target land. Creatures up flying can't block this turn. Violent Impact. Artifact or land, or cycle it away if you need to. Volcanic Upheaval. Destroy target land at instant speed. So fun times off the top of our library at instant speed too. Plunder. Destroy artifact or land. You can suspend it. So it's basically a 2-mana spell with some, delay there, but a 2-mana spell to destroy land. So that's quite nice as well.
Número 4. Vamos a ver. Otro anuncio. Nada. Mucho bulk. Cartas bien económicas. Quiero ver lo que hace con las criaturas. Espero que las criaturas, ¿verdad?, ayuden a la estrategia del deck para poder
Now
proteger.
you might think we're of land destruction,
va a haber
but
mucho
you're
hate,
wrong.
punto.
We're not just
El
yet.
deck va a estar
5,
insane.
tactic number 4, devastate for 5 mana.
Y puede ser que este deck sea más que una vez lo puedes
usar
usar porque ya la próxima vez
Fisher, destroy target land or creature. This card's so
mesa.
old, it's like, bury it. Yeah, destroy it. There you
Fisher.
go, 5 mana. Fisher Vent, choose 1 or both, destroy target artifact and or destroy target non-basic land. Yeah, typically you're going to have at least one opponent with 1 non-basic, so you can take that out, and also an artifact too. Then there's Implode, destroy target land, and draw a card. Again, that's quite lovely to cast off the top of our library. You're like, oh, cool, 2 lands, 2 cards. What's not to love about that? Lava Flow, destroy any 1 creature or land. Then we've got Reign of Rust, destroy target artifact, destroy target land, or you can entwine it to get both. Scorch the field, destroy target land, 1 damage to each human creature. That's incredibly specific, but hey, this is going to make your human tribal player over there even saltier when you destroy their land and they're like, oh, by the way, your army's gone. Bye-bye. Then we
También acuérdense en que este deck no es para... O sea, esto no es para competir. Esto solamente para ser annoying y para perder la amistad, como dijo él. So, no esperen tampoco así que vaya a ser algo súper competitivo. Pero...
Está bien annoying. Destroy target land. You get a 1/1 goblin. Lovely. Cool. Vandalize. Choose 1 or both. Destroy target artifact. Destroy target
Vandalize.
land. Victorious Destruction. Destroy target artifact. Its controller loses 1 life. It's like, hey,
Digo,
destroy your artifact to land. Also, 1 life. That's quite funny. If actually that's the last point of damage on opponent. Just like, hey, 1 life, you're out. Or I guess 2 if you copied this one with your commander. Volcanic Submersion. Destroy target artifact or land. It's cycle it away if you need to. Into the Maw of Hell. What a name. Destroy target land. Into the Maw deals 13 damage to our creature. So yeah, take out again either 1 or 2 creatures depending if you copied this one.
Tiene que tener mana ramp en este deck, porque si no...
3 damage to that player, 1 damage to each creature they control. So insult to injury. Ouch.
Okay. Número 5, mala mía.
Now, you really might think we're done with land destruction, but we're not quite just yet. I mean, I said that last time too, but we got extras here. Locked on. Tactic number 5.
Very specific
land destruction. Source for 3 mana for target plains or island. 3 damage to land's controller. So again, it's your fault you played islands. Right? Sorry, but it's your fault you played them, not mine, right? Then we've got Reign of Chaos. Destroy target plains and target white creature or starter island and blue creature. Again, incredibly specific, but quite funny when you can pull this off.
Pero, ok, no, hombre, vamos por el número 6 ahora. Lo paré en 11.27. 11 minutos 27 segundos. Lo que pasa es que ya estamos entrando, ¿viste? Porque rojo no tiene mucho line destruction, pero es bien caro y ya estamos entrando en cartas que destruyen lanes niche. Y pues, I guess son 10 pesos. Me voy a callar la boca, whatever.
Now, as good as all these cards are, the golden pick of this deck, the number 1 card for 99, though, is Swarm Intelligence. My goodness, this is a crazy card for this deck. Enchantment for 7 mana. Whenever you cast an instant first spell, you may copy that social charge for the copy. So yes, now every single time we cast our instant sorceries, no matter where it's from, our hand, top library, we're getting an extra copy. And again, when we cast this from the top of our library, we're getting 2 additional copies essentially again. So it's basically like, hey, any of our land destruction spells is going to be basically destroy 3 lands off the top of our library.
Yep.
And some of those even, that can destroy multiple. It's like, oh, destroy 6. You're going to set someone back to the Stone Age. They will have nothing to do except sit there and roost and be upset with you and contemplate leaving the room and leaving your life forever. And that is the goal of this deck.
Exacto. Él sabe. No vas a tener amistad literal.
But now let's move on to tech number 7 because we're doing that again. We're seeing double. Yes. Enchantment for 5 mana. Whenever you cast your first in-source spell each turn, copy that spell. Choose your targets for the copy. So basically, a 5 mana version of Swarm Intelligence with a slight limitation. Again, first each turn. Not just your turn, each turn. So again, if you have an instant speed spell, you can copy that as well on opponent's turns. Regardless, extra land destruction for free, essentially, once this is in play. What's not to love about that?
Número 8. Vamos a
But
ver.
now let's move on to tech number 8, pick and choose. First up, we've got
Codex
Codex Shredder.
Shredder.
Tap target player mills a card. Now you might think, hey, what's Mill doing in here? Well, we're not going to be milling our opponents. We're going to be milling ourselves because the top of our library, again, is a very precious thing to us because if it's a spell we can cast, like an instant sorcery, great, we shall do so. Extra
Eso
advantage
ayuda mucho el
for
deck.
us. That being said, if
Es
it's
como
like
un
something like a
trompo.
land, we're like,
Budget para el deck. Me
I
gusta.
like that. Let's get that off.
O como
So we
diría
get
Frankie,
off
esto es
the
un
top of our library,
pet
put it
card.
into our graveyard. Who cares about that there? What we do care about is having the next card potentially be an instant sorcery. When it is, we basically just drew a card, which is fantastic. We can also pay 5 tap and sacrifice to get a card back from our graveyard to your hand if we need it. Moving on, Ghoul Caller's Bell. Tap, everyone joins in
Exacto.
on the fun. Let's mill more
Me
cards.
gusta también.
Lovely. It's actually
Budget,
quite funny.
un maná.
This kind of a deck. I mean,
Todo el mundo
funny,
milea.
yeah,
Me
guys.
gusta,
You're
me
destroying
gusta,
all
está
your opponent's
bueno.
lands, and they're like, well, hopefully I draw into a land so I can play this. And then you're like, mill?
Exacto.
Oh, it's a
Mileas
land.
el
Oh,
land.
sorry. My bad. Anyways,
Yeah.
next up. Wand of Vertebrae, tap, mill 1, pay 2 and tap and exile, shuffle it to 5
Me
cards. to your
gusta,
graveyard
Wand
library.
of Vertebrae.
Do that. Waterlogged Hulk is next. Tap, mill a card. You can also craft it with an island if you really want to. It flips over a 4/4 Vigilant with Ascend 8. Yeah, I mean, again, and do we really need to finish our opponents off, or are we just going to make them quit Magic forever by destroying all their lands? That's the goal. Chronic Flooding, enchant land. Enchant land comes tapped. Its controller mills 3. Here's the thing. You can enchant one of your own lands. You can tap that whenever you need to, and you can mill yourself 3 to get the cards off
Sí,
the
pero
top
no
of
me
the
la
library
pondré
that
yo
you
mismo
want.
esa
Next up,
carta.
Grind Clock. Tap any
No
charge
sé.
counter on it. Tap that player mills equal the number of charge counters on it. Perpetual Timepiece. Tap, put the top 2 cards of your library in the graveyard, which means mill 2. Also, pay 2, exile it, shuffle any of your
Okay.
cards from your graveyard in your library. We need to do so. And then finally, Wondrous Crucible. Yes, this is a wondrous card for this deck. Permanents you control have Ward 2. Get of your end step, mill 2 cards, and exile a non-land card at random from your graveyard. Copy it, cast the copy without paying its mana cost. Your opponents aren't safe even out of our graveyard. We already cast
Me
these
gusta.
land destruction spells. They're in
Mira,
our
vamos a ver,
graveyard. We're
voy a
also getting
parar
random
esto
ones
en
off the top of our library, essentially. In our
14,50 segundos. Este es un buen ejemplo de algunas cartas que son súper baratas y en decks en específico son muy útiles. Esta es la forma correcta de uno hacer decks en budget y que implementen la creatividad y el plan que tú tienes para ejecutarlo contra tus enemigos. Un consejo para ustedes, cuando vayan a hacer un deck, vayan a Google y van a Images, ¿verdad? Ponen Images y entonces, por ejemplo, si tú estás buscando una carta negra que sacrificas a una criatura cuando entra a play, qué sé yo, pues tú vas a poner MTG Black Creature when enters the battlefield, sacrifice another creature, o lo que tú estás buscando, lo que sea. Y vas a darle search y te van a salir todas las cartas, las fotos, y tú vas leyendo y la consigues. Así es como yo busco las cartas cuando hago edito los videos y todas esas cosas. Esa es la mejor herramienta para buscar cartas rápido. Porque a veces en el Gatherer de Wizards of the Coast, yo sé que existe, pero a veces tienes que poner el coma y un revolú y vete de eso. Para mí es más fácil así. No sé, ustedes, ¿verdad? Como ustedes se la hagan más fácil. Voy a darle play ahora.
graveyard, and we're like, oh, by the way, I'm casting spells with Wondrous Crucible, destroying your lands even more. Goodbye, and goodbye, friendship.
Muy bueno. Vamos por el 9.
But next up, let's go on to tactic number 9. How are we going to pay for all this? We need mana, ramp, and wreck. Arcane Signet, tap for either of our colors. Fantastic. There's Fire Diamond, enters battlefield, taps for a red. Then we got Sky Diamond, exact same thing, but it taps for a blue. Is it Signet? This one, we can filter our mana essentially to tap for our guild's colors. Mind Stone, tap for a colors, or we pay 1 to tap and sacrifice to draw a card. Keep in mind, drawing a card can have a double benefit with this kind of a deck where you're like, okay, I draw a card, which was probably a dead card, maybe like a land off the top of my library. Oh, it revealed an instant sorcery, which now I have access to as well, so keep that in mind. Prismatic Lens is going to either tap for a colors or filter our mana for us. Commander's Fair, sacrifice to draw a card or tap for either of our colors. And then Midnight Clock, tap for a blue. I was going to say colors, blue. We can also get hour counters on it by paying. Beginning of each upkeep, we also get hour counters on it. And then we basically time twister once we hit that 12th hour counter. Shuffle our graveyard, shuffle our hand or our library, draw 7 to get even more lovely land destruction spells for us. Warden Power Stone, very effective, very efficient. Enters battlefield, taps for 2. In Hedron Archive, does not enter battlefield, can tap right away for 2. We can pay 2 to tap and sacrifice to draw 2 cards. But now as this episode is coming to a close, comment below with your thoughts on it. If you are interested in losing your friends for just around $10, make sure you check out that.
Vamos a pararlo aquí en 16,12. Nada, creo que... Wait, espérate. No dijo nada de criatura. What? Espérate. Yo me perdí algo. Wait, yo me perdí algo aquí. What the fuck? Este tipo no puso nada de criatura. Bueno, hay que ser entonces criaturas que vuelen, como dragones y criaturas que hagan storm. O spells que hagan criaturas. Y hagan muchas criaturas porque puso... Wait. Puso ramp, pero... No sé. Mitch. ¿Mitch qué se llama este cabrón? No me acuerdo cómo se llama este tipo. Mitch. A ver. Dame un break, porque aquí me perdí. Espérate. Bueno, no puso nunca criatura, no puso ramp efectivo. Bueno, hay que son $10. No es mi deck. Yo hubiera puesto las criaturas. Creo que falló en eso. De lo demás, pues, hay que así. Tiene land destruction, pero tenía que poner cómo defenderte porque eso... Ajá, vas a coger hate. ¿Qué vas a hacer? Un deck para coger hate. Ajá, ok. Y después, ¿qué hacemos? Puede ser que te salió una vez en tu grupo de amistades y después estás jodido porque te van a volar el culo a las millas. Este video le doy un 5 de 10. Me dejó a mitad la estrategia. Nada, vea más videos de Commander's Quarters. Creo que tiene videos muy buenos. Pero le faltó un poco. Nada, hasta la próxima y esperen más videos muy pronto en su canal EDH Sanatorium. Peace.